Hey there, dog lovers! Welcome back to Barktastic Info, where we dive into the world of adorable pooches. Today we're going to talk about a breed that's small in stature but big in personality, the Welsh Corgi. These pups might be short, but they've got some royal connections. That's right, folks. Queen Elizabeth II was a huge fan of Pembroke Welsh Corgis. So if you've ever wanted to feel like royalty, well, getting a Corgi might be the closest you'll get without marrying a prince. Let's start with the basics. The name Corgi comes from the Welsh words cor meaning dwarf and gi, a mutation of ci meaning dog. So literally, they're dwarf dogs. But don't let that fool you. These little guys pack a lot of punch in their compact bodies. Now, here's where it gets a bit confusing. When we say Welsh Corgi, we're actually talking about two distinct breeds, the Pembroke Welsh Corgi and the Cardigan Welsh Corgi. They're like fraternal twins, related but with their own unique features. Let's play a little game called Spot the Difference. If you see a Corgi with a long tail, rounded ears, and slightly larger size, you're looking at a Cardigan. On the other hand, if you spot one with pointed ears, a naturally bobbed tail, or no tail at all, and a slightly smaller frame, that's a Pembroke. It's like the dog version of Who Wore It Better, except both of them always look fabulous. Now you might be wondering, where did these adorable little fur balls come from? Well, grab your time machine because we're going way back, like medieval times back. The Cardigan Welsh Corgi is the older of the two, and when I say older, I mean old. We're talking about one of the oldest breeds in Britain. These pups have been herding cattle in Wales for over 3,000 years. That's older than some countries, folks. Legend has it that the Cardigan Corgis were brought to Wales by Norse settlers. So, if your Cardigan Corgi suddenly develops a love for Viking helmets and longships, now you know why. The Pembroke Welsh Corgi, on the other hand, is the new kid on the block. And by new, I mean they've only been around since the 10th century, practically yesterday. These little guys are said to have come to Wales with Flemish weavers. So, if your Pembroke starts showing an interest in tapestries, you can blame it on their ancestors. Now let's talk about what these pups look like. Imagine a loaf of bread with stubby legs, a fox-like face, and the cutest little butt you've ever seen. That's a Corgi for you. They're often described as long and low, which sounds like a compliment you'd give to a cool sports car. Pembrokes stand about 10 to 12 inches tall and weigh up to 30 pounds for males and 28 pounds for females. Cardigans are slightly bigger, but we're talking about an inch or two here, folks. It's not like one is a Great Dane and the other a Chihuahua. Color-wise, these pups are like walking rainbows. Pembrokes can be red, sable, fawn, or black and tan, often with white markings. Cardigans have even more variety, coming in brindle, blue merle, black and white with tan points, and more. It's like they raided a crayon box. But let's be real, the most distinctive feature of a Corgi is that booty. Now you might look at a Corgi and think, "Aw, what an adorable little lapdog." But hold on to your hats, folks, because these pups were bred to work. That's right, beneath that cute exterior lies the heart of a herding dog. Corgis were originally used to herd cattle, which might seem ridiculous given their size, but these clever pups developed a unique herding style. They would nip at the heels of the cattle and then duck to avoid getting kicked. It's like a doggy version of duck, duck, goose, except with more mooing and less giggling. This herding instinct is still strong in Corgis today. So if you bring one home, don't be surprised if they try to herd your kids, your other pets, or even your Roomba. They're just trying to keep everyone in line. But their working dog background means they're not content to just lounge around all day. Corgis need plenty of exercise and mental stimulation. They're like furry, four-legged personal trainers, always ready to get you off the couch for a walk or a play session. Speaking of play, Corgis are always up for a good time. They're playful, energetic, and have a great sense of humor. Yes, you heard that right. These dogs can be real comedians. They love to play and often have a mischievous glint in their eye. It's like living with a furry stand-up comedian who works for treats. But don't let their playful nature fool you. Corgis are also incredibly intelligent and trainable. Now let's talk about that Corgi personality. These dogs are like the extroverts of the dog world. They love people and are always ready to make new friends. They're affectionate with their families and generally good with children and other pets. It's like they never got the memo that they're supposed to be tough working dogs. But here's a fun fact. Despite their small size, Corgis make excellent watchdogs. They have a surprisingly deep bark that can make intruders think twice. It's like having a big dog alarm system in a small dog package. However, that bark can sometimes get them into trouble. Corgis can be quite vocal, which is a polite way of saying they like to bark. Now, let's talk about grooming. Corgis have a thick double coat that sheds. Well, let's just say if you're thinking of getting a Corgi, you might want to invest in a good vacuum cleaner. During shedding season, which happens twice a year, it's like a fur explosion. You could probably make a new Corgi out of all the fur they shed, but don't let that scare you off. Regular brushing can help control the shedding, and it's a great bonding activity. Plus, think of all the money you'll save on sweaters. You can just collect the fur and knit your own. Health-wise, Corgis are generally robust little dogs, but like all breeds, they can be prone to certain conditions. Hip dysplasia, eye problems, and back issues due to their long spine are things to watch out for. But with proper care, diet, and exercise, your Corgi can live a long, healthy life of 12 to 13 years or more. That's a lot of time for Corgi butt wiggling. Now, if you're thinking of bringing a Corgi into your life, there are a few things you should know. First, these dogs need plenty of exercise. Don't let their short legs fool you. Corgis have energy to burn. They love walks, play sessions, and any activity that engages their body and mind. Second, Corgis are smart cookies and need mental stimulation. Puzzle toys, training sessions, and interactive games are all great ways to keep their minds sharp. Without proper stimulation, they might find their own entertainment, like redecorating your house with stuffing from your couch cushions. Third, early socialization and training are crucial. Corgis can be a bit headstrong, must be all that royal blood, so consistent, positive reinforcement training from an early age is important. But don't worry, they're quick learners and eager to please, so training can be a fun bonding experience for both of you. Lastly, remember that Corgis were bred to be working dogs. They have a strong herding instinct, which means they might try to herd anything that moves, including your ankles. It's all in good fun, but it's something to be aware of, especially if you have small children. Now let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the Queen in the palace. Yes, Queen Elizabeth II was famously fond of Pembroke Welsh Corgis. She owned more than 30 of them throughout her lifetime. Talk about living like royalty. The Queen's love for Corgis began in 1933 when her father, then Duke of York, brought home a Pembroke Welsh Corgi named Dookie. It was love at first sight, and the rest, as they say, is history. The Queen's Corgis lived a life of luxury with their own room in Buckingham Palace and meals prepared by a chef. Now that's what I call a dog's life. But the Queen's Corgis weren't just pampered pets. They were working royals too. They often accompanied the Queen on tours and were featured in official portraits. They even had a starring role in the opening ceremony of the 2012 London Olympics, appearing alongside the Queen and James Bond. Move over, lassie. These are the real canine stars. The Queen's love for Corgis did wonders for the breed's popularity. In fact, Pembroke Welsh Corgis saw a 56% surge in popularity in the UK in 2021, likely due to the portrayal of the Queen's beloved pets in the Netflix series The Crown. So, if you see a lot of Corgis strutting around like they own the place, now you know why. They've got friends in high places. But royal connections aside, Corgis have won the hearts of many famous folks. Actresses Nina Dobrev and Ava DuVernay, author Stephen King, and even Betty White have all been proud Corgi parents. It seems like these little dogs have a knack for stealing the spotlight. Now let's talk about some fun Corgi facts that might surprise you. Did you know that Pembroke Welsh Corgis are born with tails? Yep, those cute little nubs aren't natural. Traditionally, their tails were docked shortly after birth. However, this practice is now banned in many countries, so you might see more Pembrokes sporting full fluffy tails these days. Here's another fun fact. Corgis are surprisingly fast for dogs with such short legs. They can run at speeds up to 25 miles per hour. That's faster than Usain Bolt's average speed during his world record 100-meter sprint. So if you're planning a race with your Corgi, you might want to give yourself a head start. Corgis also have a special place in Welsh folklore. According to legend, Corgis were the preferred mount of fairy warriors. The markings on their backs where the saddle would sit are sometimes called a fairy saddle. So if you see your Corgi staring intently at nothing, maybe they're just waiting for their fairy rider. Now I know what you're thinking, this all sounds great, but are Corgis the right dog for me? Well, if you're looking for a small dog with a big personality, a Corgi might be your perfect match. They're affectionate, intelligent, and always up for an adventure. Plus, with those adorable faces and wiggly butts, they're guaranteed to make you smile every day. But remember, Corgis are not low-maintenance dogs. They need plenty of exercise, mental stimulation, and grooming. They can also be quite vocal and have a strong herding instinct. So if you're looking for a quiet lapdog who's content to lounge around all day, a Corgi might not be the best fit. However, if you're ready for a fun-loving, intelligent companion who will keep you on your toes and possibly try to herd your feet, a Corgi could be your new best friend. Just be prepared for lots of fur, lots of barks, and lots of love. So there you have it, folks. Everything you need to know about the wonderful world of Welsh Corgis. From their royal connections to their working dog roots, these little dogs are truly one of a kind. Whether you're Team Pembroke or Team Cardigan, one thing's for sure, life with a Corgi is never boring. Remember, every dog is an individual, so if you're serious about bringing a Corgi into your life, be sure to do your research and meet some in person. And of course, consider adoption. That's all for today's episode of Barktastic Info. If you enjoyed learning about Corgis, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And remember, stay pawsome.